All right, I'm going to say good morning, everybody. We're going to get started because we have a with your partners parking stuff. Oh, wonderful. Good morning. We have a lot of fun going on here today. We're going to start with two sections of wonderful people. Oh, no. Well, that's really just for the people. She's not actually, you're not using a PowerPoint, are you?
Yes.
Oh, where's your computer or?
Yes. Computer.
Can you join my Zoom to do it? And then become a sharer?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to send you a link. So guys, today we have two wonderful parties. We have two wonderful things happening. One thing we have going on right away is we have Fernanda and Amanda from Outmore Creations Design. Oh Jesus, Outmore Design. They take the outdoors and make it absolutely fantastic. They're an outdoor solution company, and it's wonderful for your sellers. When you go, we want to create those spaces. We're looking for ways to give your sellers more options. Do you guys also come in with solutions where they can come and make plans and perhaps even sell it with the plan, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
So they're going to join the Zoom. I'm going to send them the link, or actually, Jules, can you just send them the link real quick to the Zoom? No.
I have even the thing.
Okay, so if you guys have an email that I can send this to really quickly?
Is Outmore Office, Outmore Design at gmail.com.
Let me take this up a second. So we're just gonna go ahead and take this. And I'm gonna have them join so they can show you some of their wonderful creations so that you know when you go into a listing presentation, some other silver bullets you have to help you get the listing or to help you sell them, right? So it's to Outmore, M-O-R-E. Here, come type your email for me.
I don't know. Does anybody know the right time here, guys?
Premier Team, Peacer Team.
At gmail.com. SIR team.
And the password is we are Premier, capital W, capital A, capital P with an exclamation point.
We are W-E, capital E-R-E.
All right.
Premier, capital P, exclamation point.
And then after these wonderful ladies are finished with their incredible presentation, we're going to hop right on with our wonderful broker friend from Cascade Sotheby's, who's now a member of Formations, to talk all about creative tax solutions to help us agents know how to set up our accounting solution. So we know what GCI you should be at to do an LLC, to do an S Corp. Okay, that was special. Come back. Okay. And then also talking about 401ks for realtors, all sorts of wonderful tax things. So I don't know who we have on here. Who just joined in?
Yeah, you, Amanda?
Yes. Okay. Okay. And let's say, and then I'm going to give you the opportunity to share as well, so that you can share your screen, so that you can share your presentation.
Oh, I see you, Amanda.
Okay. So without further ado, you guys, are you logged in? No?
I'm just opening the presentation.
Okay, let's mute you though, because you can, so we don't have that. There she is. And it's going to be a lot of fun today. Sorry for the late notice. I wish that we had a little bit more time, but it's okay, because it's when we have these great opportunities to get new information to you. I want to bring it as quick as I can. So Andrew Ferranti will be joining us. He may be on, no, I don't see him, because Andrew is from California. And he's the one who was the broker at Cascades, and he'll be jumping on, and he'll be our expert on the tax side. So, but for now, you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, so we have Amanda and Fernanda with Outmore Solutions. Did I do that right? Design, no, solutions, right?
It's fine, solutions.
I'm changing. So you can share your screen, guys, and take on over. There we go. All right. Yep.
First, good morning, everyone. I am Amanda and she is Fernanda, just to match. We are Outmore Outdoor Design, as Carrie is presenting to you guys before. So what we do proudly with a lot of passion, just as you do your jobs, work with outdoors projects. This the scratch, like you have an empty space, or like a canvas to be designed, all the way to remodeling. So what we've done, I'm an architect. I've been working on construction market for 20 years, and part of those years I'm working in outdoor space in Orlando. Fernanda is a different situation. She's a lawyer and a graduated lawyer, but here she's been working on all the operation and financial process in outdoor construction as well. So we got together and we are bringing out our own business, doing our what we love to do, that is to work with outdoor. So we put together most of our expertise and professionals qualified to do projects for you guys and your clients. What we are is one-stop shop, so all elements or items you need for outdoors, we are able to help you with. I'm gonna share with you pictures later so you guys can see. We truly believe, as I told you about passions, we truly believe that outside we can have much more fun. It's healthier and it's a great time to entertain yourselves and your family and friends. So what we do specifically is we get the project since the planning and the design all the way to create a solution customized for our clients. So it's not only we have a product, pre-made product, and we just duplicate. Now we get the project, we understand their needs, and we design and customize the project specifically for each client. We also, something on the screen, Carry something on the screen.
Oh, it's verifying my, there you go. Let me just move it. Yeah.
So after the design, we're gonna develop all the professional plans, all the engineering plans. We help clients with the HOA process, which nobody wants to do.
Yeah, nobody.
Everybody has HOA, so we used to do that, and I can tell that I like to fight sometimes with them.
We like them already.
So we deal with that, we prepare all the paperwork, and we apply process with HOA as well as the city and counties. So we develop the engineer plans also, and we deal with the permits. And then the next phase is the construction itself, which is also on us. And we put together the best and most recommended for subcontractors or products to deliver that to our clients. So here's some of the first step of our project, which is creation, where we're gonna plan, develop the design itself, show them on a painting, where they can see.
Come on in.
Where they can see the details, materials, colors, and also run this image through the day and through the night, so we can play a little bit with the lights and give them a better idea. So this is one example.
Beautiful.
This is at night, lights, fire.
Fernanda, right? Amanda, dang it. Can I ask a question? Do you also work with the pool builders as well?
It's
Okay, great.
construction and remodeling.
Okay, great.
So also we do inside the lanai, because outside is from the window out and the door out. So this is an example where we can do inside the lanai. And we bought also some pictures of a little bit of our portfolio, because we don't want to so much time of your meeting. So just to share with you some ideas, this is a for all in aluminum. Just to
Beautiful.
for privacy, and on the continuation, we did also the kitchen, summer kitchen. This is an entire remodeling from scratch. We got this house, the house was not closed yet. So we started the process, the design and everything before the house was already done. And this is a full renovation project. We did since the pool all the way to the landscape and lights.
Can I ask a question? Of course, because I'm annoying. What, a budget for something like that? What does something like that run?
This project's about $150,000.
It's amazing. And it came with the pool, the jacuzzi and the whole outdoor.
Pool, jacuzzi.
That's beautiful.
Floors, the travertine floors, synthetic dirt for the design, the landscape fence,
Beautiful.
lights, and, let me move to the other picture. Salt water flooring. Salt water. It's up to the client, but, we mostly recommend salt water, plus some
Mhm.
The lanai, we extended the lanai, this, where
Mm-hmm.
the area with lanai extension is, we added this aluminum structure to make the
Mhm.
lanai bigger, and we added the retractable screens.
Nice.
I'm not sure if that's can.
Mhm. Yeah, that's beautiful. Mhm. Right here.
Yeah, the kitchen, the
Mhm.
privacy panels are behind the kitchen. There are fans on the lanai. The other side, where the fire pit is, and the TV.
It's a good question.
It really depends on the client's need. Most of the times you can budget them the entire project. And if they want to start only with the project, we charge them only the project. And then we go with the project quoted and done by someone else. And we can also offer them the project manager. But like, the majority of our projects, we get from the design to construction.
Yeah, but let's say somebody has only their phone, they don't know what to do, and we're like just trying to get them, you know, in the mindset of, look, this is what you can do. Is that something that you guys go there for like a consultation, free consultation, give them ideas or kind of, show them?
We don't charge to go from there
No.
to actually meet with the client. That's what
No,
you
we
know.
don't charge.
So free consultation, so we could bring you to the seller, you could come out for a free consultation to give ideas. And then once they were ready to engage you is when you would come with the payment. And the payment plan could have two different structures. One, they could just pay for the plan and then they could get their own outsourced subcontractor. Or two, you could be the subcontractor, correct?
That's
Yes.
correct.
Okay.
It does not make any sense for me, right now, for us to charge up front, because as I told you, it's customized. I
Right.
cannot give you a price without being there, seeing the surroundings, seeing the house, trying to understand their needs. So it does not make any sense for me. So I mean, it's something that I always do. I need to go there in place before giving any information. So I started, it's free. I go there, I discuss, and most of the time I change their first ideas based on
Right,
my background, and at this
It
point,
makes
I'm
sense.
able.
But let's say that we have a seller that has an empty space for us to market the house. Sometimes we need some more ideas. And then, you know, like to show to buyers a nice project, how that space would look. So how much do you charge for that idea?
the conceptuals.
Talking about virtual staging.
Like kind of a plan design, kind of, you know, not, so we can present to buyers and say, look, we have this, and this is how much it's gonna cost, and this is, they do this, so it's already preset.
Yeah, it's the conceptual plan.
Yeah.
So basically, it's like Shane, who had the plans out for the CAD plans, remember that they could have done or not done.
Right.
But you advertise the house so that people could say, oh my God, this is something that could be done. So do you charge for them to purchase a conceptual plan?
No, we don't so far. It's a thing.
We haven't done, they haven't done.
Because that would be really helpful for a seller who does not have a nice backyard, for example, but that could be something that could be a very saleable part to the home, let's be honest. So if we had some conceptuals and said, this is something you could do, and if you wanted to use this company, this would be the cost of that.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm I'm doing that right now with a client. He's a realtor, but I believe he's just the seller, right? So he's selling his own house. And I did some construction plans just for his house. And
Right.
he's gonna add that to the contract. He's gonna sell with the plans. And I'm taking like the risk. I give him the plans and he's gonna add that to the house.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think that maybe we're gonna sell it with, but we'll can showcase it at the property. You know, I mean, I don't know that I would want to sell you plans because you have work in that, right? But maybe if they decide to hire you, then they get the plans because they're hiring you. But I'm just thinking more that they see it, they
It's
know
a
that's an
spec.
option and it helps to sell it.
Like
It's
that.
added value, it's a value add on. And it could be something that's negotiable. Like if the builder, you want that level 3 tile, it's an upgrade, here's an option. Now it's a negotiable thing that they could add on versus just dropping the price. Now we'll say, well, listen, we'll come in at the price, the purchase price, the asking price, but we want you to give $20,000 towards the out background, the backyard redo.
Yeah, just sometimes like they
Mhm.
don't see it, you know.
Yeah.
the space, how it can be designed, you know,
Exactly.
like we have-
And you can also probably like with the case.
Yeah, exactly. I love it.
I have a question, and I guess this is probably a question to Rio.
Oh, okay.
So, I have a really ugly listing to see flash.
We all know.
yeah. And one of the biggest things is, she's putting in a pool, blah, blah, blah. So if we were to get like a quote and like a rendering,
Right,
how can you tie
Conceptual.
that in with financing? Be like, look, you can buy this. as a
Renovation loan.
package.
Sure, yeah, we can do it either as a renovation loan, where
Okay.
they would buy it, and it really saves time both for the seller too, if we already have plans and the potential buyer likes it. Because that's usually the part that takes time, truthfully, is
Yeah.
getting the plans and specs together
Right.
for the purchase,
And
but
then
yes.
that's on a renovation loan as well.
Well, in the jumbo space, you go
Oh.
90%, isn't yours already?
Well, we're at 740, it needs to be like 60.
but it
Oh,
wouldn't be,
yeah,
it
but
wouldn't
alright,
be
so
if you're
let's say
adding in the
is
pool.
100,000,
Yeah.
so now we're at 770, so yeah, that would be conforming, that's called a home style. And those are
Okay.
really easy, you
Okay.
can put in all kinds of, so if the combined, let's say the combined is 750, then they have to put at least 5% down.
Yeah.
And then basically you're refinancing the pool,
Okay. Cool.
so it can definitely be done.
Alright.
See, these are all ways to sell our ugly dog listing. Oh, did I say that? But more importantly, to help us get new listings, right? Because when you walk into that listing, you can say, well, we have partners that we work with that can come out here, help us give you conceptual plans that we can help sell your home with.
I was at an open house this last weekend and it was like built in the 90s, I guess, and it has those big built-ins that are too small now. You know what I mean? Like they don't do the flat screen
Yeah.
TV. And so the agent actually had a rendering of what it would look like. She taped it up on the ugly thing. So you can just see, I thought it was a good idea. because
Yeah.
People would walk by it and say. oh,
Because
yeah.
people don't have the creative
vision,
vision.
yes.
Fran and I had the listing at Waterley and the lot was a pie shaped lot. So
Mhm.
I did the virtual staging with a full summer kitchen and a pickleball court.
Yep,
Wait for it. The buyer, the realtor that brought the buyer knew Fernanda and they are doing, because of their rendering, they asked them to do, I did not even recommend it was the buyer, the buyer's
Uh-huh.
realtor.
that's great.
Their rendering didn't help, the virtual staging did help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's true because people don't have
They know
vision.
20 minutes.
They don't, you can put it in MLS as supplemental docs, you absolutely
Yeah,
can,
well, but not as one. of
but
the
not as
pictures.
one of the
Yeah,
pictures.
exactly.
Because that's deceptive practice, because then they might think that actually has the pool and the pickleball
You
court.
see,
in it.
you know, sure.
They're gonna be like, where was the pickleball court? Right, exactly. Sorry, so continue,
No, no. So just some projects that we've done, to show you the diversity that we can use in materials and, needs. This is all synthetic turf. We did a splash pad on this playground area. So there are, some sprinklers all around. You can see those little dots. And it's a very simple solution. This is, an Avalon Road. We also did some, I'm so slow. This is.
Sorry,
an
internet.
application.
Welcome to our world.
Yeah, It's vacation home, so as always, we gotta have some Mickey, not that I don't like. But, we do, based on the client needs. This is another project. Those are the new communities by.
Is that a shower?
Is there a, yeah, that's a shower. The shower. We played a little bit with the floors. We use turretine, synthetic turf and PVC decks, the same as we use on docks.
How much is that?
This project is a 2-year-old project. It
Okay.
was 110 at that time.
And now would be probably 150 easy, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Probably. It has a pergola in the summer kitchen, which is not gonna be shown on the picture. You just see the post of the pergola. But just to show you during the day and at night.
We do like simple things like just like a summer. Things like small projects too, or, oh no, everything needed for an outdoor area. We can. Everything.
No project is too big or too small.
No.
Yeah. So just to show you what we're doing exactly right now, we just finished this remodeling. It's summer court, a Windermere. So they had a lot of different in levels. They were not using properly the backyard because there was no space. So we turned it to just one level. We modeled the entire pool deck, the pool
Wow.
deck, the pool plaster, the pool tile, and everything else. And also at night, we had the lights and landscape. So this is just finished. There's another angle, you see the platform, useless. It was actually a mistake, a technical mistake. They had to hire the foundation of the wall,
Wow.
but the installer that did at that time just didn't know how to deal with that. What we simply did is to add a little wall for garden next to the existing community wall, and we solved all the problem. Now they made a party after the.
Yeah.
one is done.
So how much was that project?
This was 58.
Just to fix, that's nice. You totally took their
And
backyard and made it
the
usable.
The sides of the house is also synthetic, turf. Full remodeling with deck and new deck, new tile, new plaster, all landscape, all lights.
And how did they pay? It's like, do they fence? No.
You should have guessed that.
They're gonna kick you guys out, that's why Frank's saying it.
This is a new, another one. At this project, we were, invited to fix the pool, to remodel the pool, but the point is, it's so dangerous, all the corners the pool has inside, and she wanted to destroy the spa, the jacuzzi, which is not possible, so because of construction and a lot of technical issues, they're not gonna take long right now, so the solution was to build a new pool. To demo this one and do a new pool. So this is the 3D sketch for the presentation. This is Celebration, right close to the house that you showed us one, right at that corner. And we're gonna redo the pool and do the summer kitchen inside the lanai. This project is 195. And this is the lanai. You asked me about small projects. It's just a lanai, Lake Tana area. Those are the, those constructions that the lanai is in between the garage and the house.
Yep.
So it's very close. So that's the lanai, and that's the project that we are about to finish. If you follow us on Instagram, you're gonna see the progress of the kitchen. It will be done in about some days. We added also a fire pit inside the kitchen for an entertaining area.
That's so much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This project is, I would say around 30.
Wow.
Because we don't have yet the granite price. The homeowner is taking care of the granite, and of course, he's getting the high top of the granite level. So that's one of the reasons.
So
But it can be
30 plus
done
rent
around.
plus number.
Yes.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we try to maximize the space, we just have the area. So your question, you asked us about financing, yes, we can finance. We have two ways basically. For bigger projects, we truly recommend our partner, which is Lion Finance. They do same process as a mortgage. They can go up to 30 years and up to $200,000 on the budget. Client just go to that link and then make the simulation online and then see, they just input how much they want to put as a down payment. And then after the approval, the bank contact us and we get together. We are already registered, they are our partners. And the other way is phase by phase. Well, that's the most common way. So we got the money phase by phase because we have the bureaucracy phase with HOA permits that takes up to 60 days, depending on the situation. So we can get the money like for the design, by HOA approval, permit approval, and then by construction. And then last but not least, we have some referral fee that we need to discuss with Carrie before sharing with you, but just so you know, yes, we do that. So you guys have some referral fees for each and every single project, and then Carrie's gonna share with you how we're gonna deal with that.
Yeah, we have to be really careful because that's called a kickback and it's illegal. So we'll discuss that.
Yeah, it's not- it's just to throw the seeds and that's it. And yeah, we have our Instagram, so you can see some of the projects that we're developing, the progress of some others. We have updated every single day. This is our contacts. We're also gonna leave some business cards if you need to.
That would be
And
great. And also if you can send me the PowerPoint in case
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
else wants to see that too, that would be great.
And you guys have any questions?
That was my question.
Oh, they're second last. I asked them all the way through. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. We really appreciate you.
Everything that you do with us and Carrie for the opportunity.
No, honestly, great idea. You know, we all need to be creative. This is a time with this market where we need to make sure that we are offering services above and beyond, right? This is how we get sales. This is how we sell things. And so what a great idea. And we really appreciate you and partnering with you. And we're looking forward to doing business with you. So thank you, ladies. Thank you for coming. And thank you for the breakfast. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
On the side, you'll get my first. That's what it said you. So, yes.
Okay.
We don't like already.
Okay. And now we are so lucky, guys. I'm going to say we have Mr. Andrew. There he is. Variety, he's on with us. Hey, Andrew, you want to unmute yourself?
Hey, guys, how are you?
We're great. Let me make sure I put you in speaker mode. There you are. Can everybody hear Andrew?
Hello?
All right. So we're going to get started. Andrew, would you like to share a little bit about, I haven't said much about you or your company. I did say that you were the former broker with Cascade Sotheby's. So that gave you huge buy-in, you know, because we're all
Sure.
set here, right?
Yeah, so, yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I appreciate you having us. I've got Isaac with me as well, but yeah, so I lived the Sotheby's life for several years. Started
Oh, no.
in real estate with a local brokerage in Oregon, and then migrated to Sotheby's when they opened up a brand new office, and again with them for several years. And the company that I work with now is quite honestly a company that I wish was in existence when I was a broker. So we support agents and brokers with the formation of LLC and S Corp as a way to save on taxes and everything related to that. So back office management, expense management, with the goal of trying to eliminate tax season. That's kind of the mantra.
I think that's why a lot of people are here today too. They would like to learn how we can do that. So that's wonderful.
Yeah, fair enough. Is Isaac, are you on? Oh, Harry, can you let Isaac in? So he's got our,
See him saying that he wants to get in. Is he, I don't have someone saying that they're trying to, thanks ladies, bye, thanks for coming. I don't see anyone trying to get in. Is he trying to get in?
he is.
That's strange.
He's going to try again.
Try again.
Difficulties.
Technical difficulties. I don't like that when that happens. but- Oh, there he goes. Admit. Okay. No, that's Raj. That's not him. Let's see if he comes on. He has the Zoom link, right? The one that.
Yeah, I updated the calendar invite with it.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't see. it. He hasn't come on yet.
Give me just 1 second, sorry.
No worries. How many of you guys in this room right now are an LLC? Raise your hand. Okay, so we've got a couple of people who already are LLCs. And just so you know, I don't know if your rules are the same there, but here in the state of Florida, according to DBPR, you can only, as an agent, be an LLC, a PLLC, or a PA, and you can only do so in your name. So you can't have a name like I'm the Best Realtor LLC. That does not work. You have to do it as like my name, Carrie Pollock Prieto LLC. And you have to do it in your last name as your licensed. So I'm actually licensed as Carolyn and Pollock Prieto, just as the doors outside read. Don't ever call me Carolyn because I will ignore you the entire day. And they don't care about your middle name here, but they do care about your full last name. So had I been smart, I should have used Pollock as a middle name, but I clearly wasn't. So if I wanted to incorporate myself, I have to use, if I'm a realtor as a sales associate, I have to use Pollock Prieto LLC. As a broker, I could be Prieto as the coolest LLC, but only as a managing broker, as a qualifying broker. As a broker associate, it's the same thing as a realtor. So don't think because you're a broker associate, you got extra education, you can do it. You still can't. Then don't even bother being a broker associate. Okay, just to clarify that with everybody. So you back on? I didn't get him yet in here.
Great points. He's just gonna come in here.
Okay. Okay,
So
great.
we'll just do it from here.
Okay, great. So I just figured I'd clarify that because I do get a lot of questions and I don't know where you guys are. You're in California, right? Or you're in Colorado? Where are you?
So we're in Washington State.
I was so not close.
You're, it's over on the other coast. So
There, okay.
you were close. Just a little further north. Um,
Hi,
Hey, Gary.
how are ya?
Great. How you doing?
Good, but you guys look cold.
In spite of the technical difficulties, we're good.
Zoom is being Zoom. Sorry about that.
It's
So-
both early and cold over there, right? I'm so sorry. It's not early or cold here, so I feel bad about that for you guys.
And so yeah, we're based in Washington State, but do business all over the country.
Right.
So this is where, our bread and butter. The company was really founded to serve self-employed, the solo entrepreneur. So
You guys.
obviously, real estate agents is the primary focus.
Right.
So I am going to, is it okay if I share my screen?
Absolutely. And I'm just gonna make sure that my sound is up as loud as it possibly can be, and it is. Okay.
Okay, so let's go.
What was that?
Do we see the screen okay? Do we see the 5 reasons to
Yeah.
incorporate?
Yep, we can all see it. We see your Canva. We love us some Canva.
Alrighty. Interesting. Sorry for the delay. Is there a
No
present?
worries. One thing we're all used to in this room is technical difficulties. So no, fear not. We had some earlier this morning, so.
So this is where we start. And
Yeah.
so obviously you said that several of you are already LLCs. So
Yeah.
we just go over the 5 reasons agents incorporate their business to start.
I think we can just share, it will allow him to do the
Really? If you hit share?
share, and then it will take presentation, I think.
Oh, good call. I was wondering if, the share would work. So on my account, there's a drop down where you can go into presenter mode.
File?
Somewhere there.
Oh, hit the file, they say.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah. No, view set, no, that's weird.
Button on the side. know.
I don't know. I don't see, usually it says presentation mode, but
What about that full screen button,
Yeah.
then next to the question mark?
yeah, how about the full screen button next to the question mark?
Question mark. Oh, here we go. Nice, thank you.
Yeah, there we go, Mr.
Save
Shane.
the day.
My Apple guy knows it all. Former Apple, I call him for everything. Shane.
So, yeah, so from what I'm hearing, it sounds like some people have LLCs, PAs, are kind of like taking steps towards incorporating. Also, hi, I'm Isaac. I've been at Formations 3 years, and I was not a broker or an agent, but I have experience being self-employed. And to Andrew's point, really understand what's lacking in the self-employed space. So our kind of ethos here at Formations is being a full-time soloist involves so many things. To be, you know, a high production, high volume agent means that you're the CEO, the CFO, the CMO, all the C's, right? Of your and one thing that falls short very often, the easiest thing to overlook is the financial piece. It's just the case that the current tax system in America is a bit outdated, and the IRS doesn't have a marketing department, so a lot of 1099 workers are left on their own and don't know what to do, and experience 42% of full-time self-employed experience file taxes late. Our estimate is that 90% are in the wrong tax structure. There was a study last year that said a third of full-time self-employed contribute no dollars to retirement. And this isn't any individual's fault. This means that you don't have the same perks that we have, right? You're not W-2, you don't have an HR team matching your 401k, auto-enrolling you into the health insurance plan, right? You don't have a billing department withholding your taxes every paycheck. So,
and we talked about Carrie talked about this as well when we first connected through the licensing process. There's really no education through the licensing process. And I was licensed as a managing broker in multiple states, 4 different states. And I can tell you that none of them, whether I was being licensed as a salesperson, a broker, or managing broker, none of those programs through that process of studying and licensing tackle any of this.
Yeah.
And so there's a lack just from the very inception of you getting into this business, a lack of education on this.
Yeah, and I've been here 3 years, talked to agents more or less every single day, and even top producers who have, here in the Seattle market, who have been in real estate for decades, still describe the financial part of their business as the biggest dumpster fire, mess, source of stress. It's different for each person, but as a whole, as far as what we're seeing in the self-employment space, 1099 workers aren't going anywhere. In fact, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, they predict that by 2026, the growth rate of self-employment will outpace the growth rate of traditional employment. So something's got to happen, right? Like there's got to be some systemization, some structure for independent workers like yourself, because the workforce is changing, people's preferences for lifestyle is changing. And one of the big changes, one of the fundamental structural benefits that we see, our agent partners realize, is taking a step towards incorporating. So we're going to talk about, the 5 benefits of incorporating. Here's just kind of an overview, so no surprises. We'll start with talking about personal asset protection, financial separation, reduced risk of audit. Well, then we'll talk about S Corp. I'm sure a lot of people here maybe are familiar with S Corp, maybe have an S Corp tax selection. We'll talk about that, what it is, what it's not. And then, of course, benefits, retirement, other ways to align yourself in the best possible tax position. So we'll breeze through the first few. It sounds like a lot of people here are familiar with LLC or a PA, right? The immediate benefit of incorporating is personal asset protection, right? The LL in LLC stands for limited liability. So you as a human being are not personally or financially responsible if you were to say, get sued or incur some sort of debt. So it separates you from the work that you do. If you were to leave a window open at a open house and a storm rolls through and ruins the artwork, right? Just random example. But that LLC means only the assets in the business are at stake. So it removes that personal tie to your business efforts. So that legal separation is the first benefit of incorporating. But what's very, very often overlooked is, in addition to legal separation, the financial separation plays a huge role in financial visibility and understanding of your net cash flow, profitability, how you're tracking year over year, and what to focus on to help drive your business success. With an LLC or any incorporated business, you get an EIN, employer identification number. You can use that to open a business checking account, and then use a bookkeeping system, something as simple as QuickBooks or Formations, our bookkeeping system, to track profit, loss, and profitability statements each month. That informs your decision as the CEO on what's working well, but more importantly, you're avoiding commingling and kind of muddying the waters of what's going on in your business, right? So that's
So can I just add one thing with the financial separation? One question that I get asked quite a bit is access to those funds. So although the financial separation is there, you still have full access to your funds if you're LLC in the form of just a distribution instead of the form of just a personal payment to you. So it's not like, we know the ebbs and flows of the business, and sometimes there's a need. Hey, I've got this $4 million listing on the water. I need extra money for marketing expense. I need extra money to run an event for there. There's still the access to those funds. And if it's a personal need, there's access to those funds in the form of a distribution. So it's not like it's separate and you've got to wait until the end of the year to have access to any of those funds for any reason. It's still your money.
Yes, that's a really good point. And keep that in mind as we go into the S Corp stuff. You have access to 100% of your earned commissions. Yeah, you can take an owner's draw, transfer the money into personal. There's no limitations there. The third benefit of incorporating comes with the incorporation of an entity at the state level, less risk of getting audited. Since COVID, over the past few years, it's hard to find, hard evidence of this. Statistics are kind of not so updated over the past 5 or so years, but there is evidence that incorporating your business and registering it with state and federal authorities reduces the risk of an audit. And that's mostly because sole proprietors by far are the highest audited subset of workers in America, because your Schedule C reports your expenses and what you're writing off, and the IRS can only assume that's accurate, right? They're taking you at your word. Whereas when you register at the state and federal level and increase that administrative clarity, the priority of an audit is reduced to lower in the stack, let's say. But of course, the data is we have yet to see some updated statistics there. So now that we've gone through 1 through 3, we're kind of at the point where you have an LLC, you got that legal separation. Ideally, you got a business checking account, no personal expenses flowing through that. So you got clear financial visibility and separation, and then of course the reduced audit risk. Now we're kind of talking about tax savings, in particular the S corporation tax structure. So we'll pause at the end of this section. This tends to spur a lot of questions and a lot of interest. But there's one thing that is very commonly asked when we're talking about S corporation is an S corporation right for me? The answer to that is maybe. It's always maybe. It's there's a bit of mathematics to it. So just to kind of take a 30,000-foot point of view here, an S corporation is simply a way to be taxed. So it's not a separate entity itself, even though it's got corp in it. The S in S corp refers to subchapter S of the IRS tax code. So you're taking your LLC or your PA or whatever Florida state business you have, and you're electing with the IRS by filing this form in the middle, which is the S election form, saying, hey, IRS, I am choosing to elect my business to be taxed under subchapter S for the special tax election, the goal of which is to reduce the amount of self-employment tax that I pay. Now, the self-employment tax, as I'm sure all of you know, isn't a tax that's imposed on you for being self-employed. That'd be wild. It refers to the fact that if you're 1099, you pay twice as much FICA tax as a W-2 worker. So in addition to the HR benefits and the not having to think about our tax withholdings, we also get the added benefit of not overpaying FICA tax. Our employer splits that 15.3% Social Security Medicare tax down the middle. That's just W-2 life. If you're 1099, however, and you do not have a technical employer, you're on the hook for that full 15% tax yourself. So an S Corp tax election allows you to mitigate that self-employment tax and pay a fair share, more so what you would pay if you were a W-2 employee. So just bear that in mind. That's the concept of the S Corporation tax election. And again, it deals exclusively with the self-employment tax. It doesn't have a direct effect on federal tax or state tax or any of the random taxes listed below. It directly impacts that 15.3% FICA tax that everybody who's 1099 here is on the hook for entirely yourselves. Now, what you have to do, or let's look at an example. Actually, this so a lot of people ask, back to the original question, is an S Corp right for me? The answer is maybe. Typically, what we advise is if you're consistently netting $60,000 or more, then most likely an S corporation is right for you. But the key is consistency, because you want to make sure that the juice is worth the squeeze. You want to make sure that you're saving more than you're spending, because there is a lot of work that's involved with
Florida reference, the juice is worth the squeeze, the orange.
the orange juice. Yeah,
All right.
Pulp, yeah.
All right, good one.
Yeah. You cut on. But at 60K, you should be saving a lot more than you spend.
Yeah, look
Now,
at it.
look at an example here of somebody who's netting 100K. Now, the sole proprietor on the left, or maybe someone with an LLC, is paying the full 15% FICA tax, self-employment tax. So their tax is just over 18 grand on their 120K. Well, let's look at let's look at the S corporation example on the right. With an S corporation, the same input of income, 120K net, the output of self-employment tax is just over $7,000. So 18 versus 7. How does this happen? The key to the S corporation, what you have to do is, again, the concept is make things fair. The Social Security, Medicare, FICA tax that you're paying, you can pay it more on par with the W-2 worker and what they would pay. But the IRS requires you, if you're an S corporation, to treat yourself as if you're a W-2 employee of your own business. So you have to play by the IRS rules. Consistency is key, good bookkeeping, running payroll, and filing a separate business tax return. Happy to answer questions if you have questions about the nuances. But in essence, what you're doing is you're defining a reasonable salary. So this 120K net income example from before, in this example, we're defining a 40% reasonable salary. And by defining 40% as the salary with the S corporation, that's the only portion of the income that is subject to self-employment tax. Now, to be clear, it's not that the 72K profit is tax-free. You still pay federal and state taxes, not that Florida or Washington is state tax. But it is that 72K business profit is self-employment tax-free, which is a big deal. It results in significant savings. So if you're netting 120K, transitioning from sole prop or LLC into LLC tax as an S corp could help you save, somewhere at $11,000. So.
Do you want to stop here to see if we have any questions on that?
Yeah, you guys have questions?
Aren't you still paying tax on the business profit when it flows to your personal return?
So, did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yeah, good question. Are you still paying taxes on the business profits? Yes, you're still paying full federal tax. So federal taxes being a progressive income tax, you're still paying that on the full 120K.
And
But when
she's
it
saying
comes
when
to-
it goes back into your personal return. So your business pays you as a personal, that's when you're paying it, correct?
When you take a distribution.
When you take your distribution.
Right. So no, there's no additional tax on the business profits if you take a distribution. Like if you're pulling money from business to personal account, is the question?
No, so like, let's say you're saying your reasonable salary is 48,000. On that 48,000, now you're going to pay taxes on that in your personal level as well.
Correct. Yes, correct. So there are two main taxes. So there's federal income tax and there's self-employment tax. In some cases there's state tax, but not for either of us.
Yeah.
But federal tax you pay on the entire 120K. So this and this combined, the IRS doesn't care that you're doing S corporation work when it comes to federal taxes. When it comes to self-employment tax, you're only paying that on the salary. You're not paying that on the 72K.
So then you take the 48 and you put that on your personal tax return and you have to pay the federal on the 48 again, correct? Because now that's your personal income, no?
Nope, no, you're still 1099, so you're still reporting this. The federal tax applies to your total gross earnings. Or
Only charged at one.
So how do you?
good questions. Yeah.
Two without getting.
Well, you're accessing it because you're reporting it. You always have to report the total income, but you're saying out of this total in that income, the only salary that you're gaining is the 48,000 because the other part is your expenses, right? Because there's expenses. That's why it's your reasonable salary because you have expenses that go into running a business, right? Correct,
I'm
guys?
talking about business profit. How do you access the business profit without?
You can
getting-
always access the profit because the money never goes away.
But without
it's-
getting taxed.
You don't, the taxes are all about how you're writing off what the business is using. Is that not right, guys? He's saying, how do you access 72 if you're not paying the taxes on it? That's a completely separate issue, correct?
So the visual here is the best way that we found to illustrate how an S corporation works. And the natural kind of question is, okay, what's happening with the 72K, or do I have to live off 48K?
Right.
Really just the representation on what you're reporting at the end of the year.
Right.
Because you do have to report a W-2 for the payroll that you defined and with taxes through for yourself, and a K-1, which shows your business profits. But both confluence into your personal tax return. Only one portion of that, the payroll is subject to the FICA tax, but the entirety is subject to federal taxes. So the day-to-day experience doesn't change.
And you're not being taxed again when you take a distribution from that 72K.
Right.
It's not part of your W-2 salary as employee.
Right.
It's part of your distribution as an owner of the business.
Does that make sense to you, Shane?
That's,
Because what he's saying is you've already paid the federal government. The federal took their fair share
Right.
on the whole 120
Right.
already, right? But it's the self-employment tax that you paid on what you said was your reasonable salary of 48. So the 72, because you said your reasonable salary is at the 48, because that 72 is going into business cost, right? You've already paid the federal government on the whole amount. They already got
I
their
understand
money,
that,
right? So,
But I'm gonna be I'm gonna be taking the 72,000 personally.
yeah,
They're not gonna say, well, you need to pay.
no, because you already paid the federal government on it, right?
that's the magic behind this whole thing.
That's the beauty of it.
Okay.
Because that is a distribution from the company, but it's not part of your salary. When you're taking it out, you might be taking it out for certain things, right?
And to be clear, you can't just say, my GCI this year is 250,000. I'm going to pay myself a $25,000 salary. Doesn't
Right.
work like that either. So we can get into that. That might be a topic for another time, reasonable salary and calculating and what is gonna, throw up a red flag to the IRS and say, hey, wait a second. You didn't have, 500,000 in business profits and take a $25,000 salary this year. It's not gonna
Right. You're
work.
gonna say, where did the rest of the money
So
go?
is there a percentage, like a 40% or a?
Yeah, generally speaking, there's, between 30 to 50% is deemed reasonable, but there's no magic percentage. How we do it is we have a team of CPAs that know S Corporation, been doing it for decades. We also partner with RC Reports, which is an industry-leading reasonable compensation study that bases all of the reasonable salary estimates on 50 years of IRS data. So the S Corp thing has been around since 1952. And the accounting methodology behind what reasonable is depends on who you are, how many hours you work, industry, state, cost, market, income approaches. But generally, you're right. Like 40% is top of the bell curve traditionally, but it could skew in either direction depending on scenario. But to your point, we do have an S Corporation deep dive slide. So this is just meant to be a teaser. Love these questions. Like these are the right questions to be asking. But yeah, if you want to have us back for more of like a S Corp specific, like let's get into the weeds. Let's really like unpack the S Corp and see how it works. we do have a deck and some visual aid to help that. But let's keep with the questions. These are great.
Anybody else have any other questions so far? Anyone online? No? Okay, keep going, guys. I'm sure they'll come up with more, trust me.
Of course, and feel free to throw questions in the chat. We can address all the questions at the end. But so the S corporation. So just kind of get back from the start and where we're at here. So the first three benefits have to do with just the LLC itself: legal protection, financial protection, separation, and reduced audit risk. And then if you're netting over at or over 60K, an S election should be able to significantly mitigate your tax bill through self-employment tax. The assumption here is that you're working now with a system, like you're partnering with a company like Formations, or you're an accountant who's licensed in S Corp who can manage stuff and give you accurate and clear visibility into the health of your business at all times, which results in additional benefits because now you know your net cash flow, and now you can take advantage of some cool Fortune 500 level benefits like like retirement vehicles. So SEP IRA, solo 401k, and defined benefits plans are three plans that we recommend. The solo 401k being the most optimal typically for S corporation filers. Like I said, only a third of full-time self-employed, according to last year's, I think it was Meredith Publishing, their study, contribute any dollars to retirement. I'm assuming the rest have rollover accounts that they contribute to sometimes, like convert into an IRA or something. But most people, my assumption is that most people don't, if you're full-time self-employed, they don't contribute to retirement because you don't know what your cash flow is. You don't know what your tax liability is. Like, I can't tell you how many people we talk to this time of year who are still reconciling stuff from last year. They don't know what if the tax bill is going to be $5,000 or $50,000, right? And it's hard to put money into into different avenues of investment without that clear and concise understanding throughout the year. But it's always relative, depending on your situation and goals for achieving your financial freedom number. There are some key evaluation criteria to consider. But in an example, we're going to look at this. So this is an 80K example. If you're netting $80,000, what can this whole system do for you? So this shows if you're netting 80K and you incorporate your business and make the S election, you should be able to save around $6,500 in self-employment tax. Plus, if you max out a solo 401k, again, retirement contributions deals with the federal tax. So at $80,000, your marginal tax rate is 22%. So every dollar you contribute to retirement is 22 cents saved on every dollar for that year. So if you max out that solo 401k, you're adding another $4,000 or so in tax savings for that year. And then maybe you're able to run health insurance premiums or have a HAS account. Sorry, HAS. Through a spouse, and there might be some relative situation there. Perhaps an additional $1,000 to $2,000 in health insurance deductions could add to a total of $12,500 in total tax savings. So this shows just kind of like a scenario where all the stars align, right? Like your bookkeeping is up to snuff, it's tracking all expenses, you're writing off as much as possible, your S election is mitigating self-employment tax, and the additional benefits through tax deferred or personal health insurance write-offs puts you in a much more optimal financial position overall. So this is kind of the
which is
end
one
goal.
Yeah, and one other thing to note on the solo 401k is in a good year, again, you hit it out of the park. It was, great year for you. The flexibility associated with that solo 401k that allows you to increase at a level that is unavailable in other forms is tremendously powerful when it comes to saving for retirement. So you have a year that is extraordinarily good. This is the formation that allows you to save the most and get the most benefit from it. So the flexibility associated with it is tremendous.
So Andrew, is that the kind of thing you put in monthly or yearly, or how does that work?
Consistency is up to each individual. Some people want to contribute every time they, every quarter, just every paycheck, put some money away, kind of like, profit first methodology.
But
Just have some.
Yeah, but you can choose at the end. And in fact, there was a recent change in the date for when you had to contribute to the solo 401k. It used to be you had to contribute by calendar year end. This is the first year that they're now allowing that contribution to be up until you file. So if you've not filed yet, or you filed an extension, you still have time to contribute to that solo 401k. And this is the very first year that that's been available.
That's good, guys, because even if you're filing, how about, so even if you're filing late and you're putting in for an extension, if you have to pay, you have to pay, you know that. If you have to file late, if you're filing for an extension, but you still have to pay your bill, IRS doesn't care, but you can still file for the 401k, reduce what you have to pay and still file for your extension, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And this is the first year that that's
I am not a CPA myself, but I have a very good one who assists me. We have a lot of conversations. That's really cool.
And Carrie, I know we're running up against the clock,
Yeah.
so you let me know.
Yep.
Do it on time.
Oh, I do have a question in the chat. They wanted to know if you recommend ADP or QuickBooks for payroll, or if you guys with formations, do you guys do payroll?
So we do it all. So we partner with Gusto, which is our payroll provider. I'd recommend them over ADP simply because ADP is, they're kind of the Goliath in the space, but they largely provide services for enterprise companies. Gusto is focused on small to mid-sized business. So they have a cool marketplace. They're a PEO service. So they've got good, partnerships with retirement vehicles, full integration with like health insurance options. So Gusto is great. We use Gusto. We do the bookkeeping as well.
Yeah, we're actually, our company is a Gusto customer as well. So we personally use it and I love it. I think it's a great, great service.
Terrific, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You guys can finish up because I don't want to, if you have any other things to cover.
Well, we're just, kind of frequent misconceptions like, cost, complication and timing. If this is on your mind, I mean, it's tax season. We have a week until taxes are due. But if it's something you want to explore for yourself, we'd love to offer a second opinion. Obviously, we help our clients save an average of 11 grand a year. We have testimonials on our website. If you want a second opinion, you can connect with Andrew. We can loop in a CPA. If you want to upload a previous year's return, we can do a free, comparative analysis. Because this is a relative decision. It depends on where you're at, what your priorities are. But we hope we did a good job kind of laying out some of the key benefits of incorporating.
Jules,
Any other questions?
yeah, we got one right here.
So I'm meeting with my CPA via phone this afternoon,
Uh-huh,
so I'm about to ask them to file an extension.
yes.
Would I be able to consult with them for this tax season?
Yeah, can she consult with you guys for this tax season?
Yeah, so I heard the question. So for 2022 tax season, is the S corporation possible?
No, she wants to
I
know if
already
she can
did.
consult, she already has an S corp. right?
Oh,
But she wants to, and an LLC, she wants to know if she can consult with you guys for this tax season. She has to file for an extension. She was gonna meet with her CPA later today, but she wants to know if she can meet with you guys for this tax season.
Yeah, we can. In fact, we've got an appointment Friday morning with someone in that very same situation. So they just wanted a second opinion. So
Yep,
it's, obviously the timing is it's
of the
It's-
essence.
close, but we can do it.
It's just like the contract. Time is of the essence. Yeah, Shane.
Can you form an S corp or an LLC midway through the year if you've been paid personally and then switch your license over to the business?
Just
So we
keep
can
going.
go,
You can,
yes,
do
we
the
can-
midway,
we can-
but we won't, we'll only pay you for halfway through the year. Like, remember, with Premier, we can only pay you as DBPR for Reflex. I have to be very clear on that. This has come up a lot with you guys. When you change you go to an LLC, you must first change it with DBPR. If
Right.
you change it and do a W-9, but you never changed it with DBPR, we are not paying you. We're not gonna give you a 1099 in your LLC. It must first change with DBPR. We are not allowed to pay you as an LLC or a PA unless DBPR shows it that way.
Well, we can do it mid-year.
You can, but you're gonna get two different 1099s, one for the first half of the year where we paid you personally, one for the second half of the year where we paid
And
you
they
a
can help
1099.
us form the actual S corp.
Can you guys help them form the S corp?
that's what we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
just have to be really clear because we've had this come up so many times of late. We will be in huge violation with DBPR if we give you a 1099 in any other name than you are licensed with DBPR. That is a huge violation.
And to answer the question I think he was getting at, we can go back 1 year retroactively
If you have an LLC.
if you already have an LLC.
If you don't yet have an LLC or a PA and you want to start mid-year, effective, start of your incorporation onward is when the S election would apply. So if you incorporate in June, starting June onward is the S corporation effective start date. You can't go back to January 1st. So if you're projecting a good year, over 60K or so, then it's best to form the entity now. You could always make the decision later on or consult along the way. But having an entity at the state level first is a must.
And you have their contact information.
Yeah, can you guys put your contact information also back up on the screen so they can take the,
Your meeting link, throw in the chat. Oh yeah, we'll share the screen. Sorry.
yeah, so you can do the QR code?
Yeah, there you
Yeah. Someone's taking a picture there.
go. Oops, sorry.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, perfectly timely, guys. That's awesome. But I just, again, want to make sure very clear. I'm going to say it one more time. If you go and get an LLC, a PA or a PLLC, those are the 3 types you're allowed to have within Florida. And it must be in your name. The first step is to get the LLC. The second step is to file it with DBPR. The third step is to change your W-9 with us. If you miss step number 2, filing with DBPR, you will not get a 1099 from us that says the LLC or the PA or the
What's the difference
PLLC.
between an LLC and a PA?
Can you guys cover the difference between the PA and the LLC? Briefly?
Just title, really. Everything entity-wise is the same. You get the same EIN, legal separation. It's just certain states have different nuances, and it depends on the type of industry you work into. Like a professional limited liability company, PLLC, is applicable depending on your industry. Like if you're perhaps in real estate, working in architecture, some medical clients of ours, they can't have an LLC. They have to have a PLLC. So it's just name is the only difference.
And our CPAs would make sure that you're in the right structure. And then the S Corp is really kind of like what we were talking about, is really the magic behind all of this savings on top of that correct structure.
But I will tell you guys, we've had people hire attorneys to do this, real estate attorneys, who've had people do it in the wrong name. And then they have to.
Yeah,
pay
and
them.
then look, they're not set up to manage it. That's the whole thing. Like you need someone that is set up to manage it, and whether it's us or someone else, make sure whoever you're going to be working with is set up for the ongoing management. And part of the reason why we exist is because that, it's better to do in real time. We talk about getting on offense instead of defense when it comes to taxes.
Yeah.
And doing this in a predictive way instead of, fire drill every quarter or at the end of the year.
Well, I love the idea of you guys coming on quarterly too and giving us some timely tax information or 401k or whatever. That's awesome. So we really
Yeah, we'd love
appreciate
to.
having you. Yeah, that's great. Again, I am not a CPA, not licensed, my mother-in-law is, but I do not talk in that space. So, but I love having you guys on because I'm not even supposed to help them fill out their W-9. I don't know who speaks when that happens. I never do. But I get in trouble for that stuff. But I do thank you both for coming on and spending your time, your very early morning with us. So thank you very much. Does anybody else have any more questions? No. Well, thank you all. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll look forward to getting you back maybe in another month or 2 or whatever. else comes up.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, everyone.
Good to
Thank
meet
you,
everybody.
guys.
Thank you.
Take care.